introduce to you a very special person that I met in a very special way. I'm taking a course with a very important journalist that knows a lot about the Middle East and about the reality of the Middle East. He himself has been doing tremendous undercover operations in many Arab nations. And his name is Tzvi Yechezkeli. He's very well known as an Israeli journalist for Channel 24. And I'm part of his community of students, learning more and more and more about the neighborhood we're living in. And Tzvi brought Khalifa to be a speaker in that forum. And I loved him. I mean, I loved what he had to say, and then I just was seeing that he has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge about our neighborhood in general, okay? About the Middle East in general, the mentality, everything. But he's a Druze. And you have heard me talk about the Druze many, many times, but you don't really know enough about them. We know that there's been a terrible thing, massacres have been happening to the Druze in Asweda in Syria. We know these things from the news. But what we're going to discover today about the Druze, I think, is going to be very surprising for all of us. And it's going to be very important because I believe that the Druze are special, have a special brotherhood.
They are.
With the people of Israel. So give him a good clap of
المجازر اللي قامت، شو انتم شاهدين؟ شهادتكم على الاحداث اللي تمارست هون.
هاي الارض بتشهد هون، هذا الوضع بيشهد هون.
جماعه طائفيين فاتوا كبروا علينا، لولا ما لطف الله وكان موجود بطل بهالحاره الله يرد عنه وعن اولاده، هو اللي تصدى له وكان شخص لحاله على فكره يعني، وهن فاتوا اخر شيء فاتوا انتقاميه، فوتوا الدبابه تبعهم هون وبلشوا مثل ما انت
على ما سمعنا قالوا انه
ما تخلي حدا،
لا ما تخلي لا بتخلي حجر ولا بشر، هيك اوامرنا ما بتخلي لا حجر ولا بشر، بدي الدم يسيل على الحاره، هيك يقول له بدي اشوف حمام الدم ماشي، الله لا يوفقه، ولا هو رئيس ولا هو دولي، هو عباره عن جزار.
انت كنت خلال الاحداث هون؟
كان في طول الليل ما استناش فينا الاتصال. واخر شيء بلشوا فينا بالار بي جي، ويجت قذيفه على الشقه اللي فوق حرقوها.
قذيفه هاون انفجرت في منازل المدنيين. آثار القصف الهمجي البربري الطائفي العنصري.
UN investigations documented over 1,700 deaths and the displacement of nearly 200,000 people across 3 waves of hostilities between July 13th and 19th.
I will make it easy. The first thing that you need to know about the Druze, we make the best food in the world. You're gonna see it tomorrow, and it's a good thing that we have representatives from a lot of states, so this way we can prove myself right. So thank you so much, Dominica, and I'm really excited. You know, it's especially in this day that intrigued all my Telegram channel, all the, you know, the idea that I need to speak out. Druze, I'm going to give you like a bird sight over the Druze community. You're going to be knowledgeable about who are the Druze. But the thing is about the Druze people that the religion is secretive. So even me, dressed like that, like once you see a Druze religious person, you can tell that if he's religious or no. So I'm secular like just the next guy, so I'm more even Jewish or even more Israeli in my daily practice than being Druze, because I'm not allowed to read our holy scriptures or get a lot of knowledge about the essence of the religion. So no secret's gonna be revealed here, I'm afraid. But you'll get a lot of knowledge about the important stuff that you need to understand about the Druze community. So first of all, I'm not 40 yet. I'm going to be 40 in a week or so. From Daliat el-Carmel, it's the largest Druze village and the southest. I think there's like 21 Druze villages in Israel, and we are the southest. So we are the closest to Tel Aviv. So a lot of the Galil Druze look down to us like we are Ashkenazi, because we are closer to Tel Aviv. So we are like more, you know, those guys forgot how to be Jews. So this is the laughter about it. And I'm a father of a 9-year-old daughter called Rai. Rai, in fluent daily life, Arabic means opinion, and she has a lot of opinions. And I got myself to trouble once I called her that, but that's a beautiful thing. She basically, like, I'm gonna tell you, because we are on October 7, and I'm gonna feel a bit freer to address you in a more private thing, because, you know, growing up in Israel has a lot of ups and downs in it. And for me, I'm suffering from PTSD. I have a lot of depressions, anxieties, and for me, the only thing that made me address the Druze and the Jews is to try to do tikkun olam. I don't know if you know what the concept means, but basically, instead of looking how bad and miserable our reality, try to look what is working beautifully and try to strengthen it a bit, a day by day, by trying to speak out about the people, about these beautiful people, the Druze community, that I'm so proud to be a part of it. So the Druze, although we are historically, and I'm gonna touch it a bit more later, historically we came out from Islam in the 11th century in Egypt, and I always say that, like the Jews, we came out of Egypt and we never came back. So there's no Jews anymore in Egypt. And even though the Jews community have the highest rate of volunteering to combat units in the IDF, 86% of Druze men, and I'm no exception in this regard, because I served in special forces in Israel. I was the first Druze to serve in the Oketz unit. I love dogs, and the Oketz, it's a canine unit. I studied in Tel Aviv University. I told you I'm Ashkenazi Druze. As I said, I'm the host of the Khalifa Shrak podcast, trying to tell the story of the Middle East from my own perspective, knowing that there's a joke that I love to say always, that if I'll stand on one leg on a volcano and on the other leg on an iceberg, on average, I'm in the ideal temperature. In reality, I'm dead from both sides. And this is how it feels once you know your native tongue is Arabic and you are Israeli to the bone, knowing that, you know, you have this approach. Maybe the South African people will understand, because Nelson Mandela once said a beautiful quote that I love to tell, that if you address someone with his mother tongue, you speak to his heart. And once you speak to his second language, you speak to his mind. So once I was in the IDF and I was visiting in the West Bank, I have this immediate, unfiltered approach to the Palestinians. We saw the same channels, we laughed about the same jokes, we know the same actors, the same, like, I have broad, common background with these people. And the food is very similar, not as good as the Druze, as I said, but still. Yeah, so because there are some differences, some things that we are not allowed, like molokhia. We can't eat molokhia or kuzbara. I started my podcast in 2020 on COVID, when the world just got mad, and bit by bit people tried to notice it. And me addressing the Druze more and more, I started a documentary film about the Druze state in Syria 2 years ago, when nobody even knew what is Sweda. I'm going to talk about it. This is why people call me the Druze Herzl. So here you can see religious Druze personnel, and basically they have a secret handshake. This is the secret handshake. Once they meet, they just each other kiss the other guy's hand, and it's like something to work on your ego. Try to kiss other person's hand, and it's a small combat of who kisses more and who's more modest or more humble. Once they meet, there's a lot of discussion about the Jewish community about the religion itself, that if it's a religion or it's a philosophy, because even the religious personnel, they don't have, wake up at this hour and then you do shaharit or, pray certain, there's no sidur, there's no religious order or liturgy. But it's more of a combination between Stoic or philosophy, because people like Plato is a prophet in our eyes, and you will say, hey, how a religion that started in the 11th century considers Plato, who lived 225 centuries ago. There's like a discrepancy between the ages, and that's the first thing, or the second thing, sorry, the first thing about the religion of the Jews, that we believe in reincarnation. So once we believe in reincarnation, you cannot become Jews. A Jew who's someone who's both his parents, father and mother, are Jews. It's a birth-given right. You can't convert to Druidism. You can only born to be Druze. And we believe in reincarnation. So in my opinion, or in my view, once I try to improve the life of the Jews in Syria, I do it in a very selfish means, because I believe that if I will die now, I could born in Syria tomorrow. So I'm trying to prepare my life in Syria to become better. I'm not willing to die now and go live in such a miserable state. So, but being in touch with these people puts things in perspective. Like there's a lot of things, as I said, to be miserable or depressed or suffering from PTSD symptoms like I do. But once I see the reality from the Druze people, things become much easier for me to thank God or thank everything for being born in Israel and have the privilege to live again side by side with the Jewish people. And we go together so beautifully that this is why Muslims or Islamists, better to say, or more accurate, Islamists, hate the Jews more than the Jews. As I say, Jews are Jews with no benefits. Like we are hated as much from the Jewish enemies, but we don't have the IDF, and that's a sad reality that we have to deal with. So, as I said, we believe in reincarnation, and we are monotheist. So, Druze is a nickname that we don't like too much. It's in the beginning, in the early days of the religion, people start calling it the bad word. He's Druze, but we go with al-muwahhidun, and let's say Islam and Druze. That Islam thinks that God is a transcendent being sitting in the seventh sky, while the Jews believe that God exists with us and He's present in each and every one of His creations. So this is why we are called al-muwahhidun. As a side note, because I'm discovering something that I'm not really allowed to read in, but in the East, it's the same meaning as yoga, which is unity, which is, I find it very, very interesting. Okay, this is the Druze flag, and each and every one of the colors represents different prophets with different messages. So the highest will be Jethro, the green one. Jethro, because we believe in reincarnation, so even our prophets reincarnated. So Jethro, we believe, is the same person as Plato. This is just to give you an example of how complicated or complex the belief itself. This is why only certain people could really actually take it, and they need to show devotion in order to come. We are very similar to the Jews. Like if someone needs to convert to Judaism, so he needs to prove to his community that he is willing to take this this burden or this responsibility on his behalf. So the same thing goes with the Jews. Once someone infidel like myself goes to the local khilwa, which is in quote unquote like a Druze church, so I need to convince my community that I'm coming with a pure heart to get in touch with God by the scripts, and I need to go through a process just to prove to everybody that I'm really wanted to go back to religion. So the textbook itself called Wisdom, we are Ahlul Hikmah. Hikmah is a wisdom. So no matter where you meet which Druze in any country, you will always see that the common thing is that the Druze people love knowledge, love putting doubt to things, love to go to universities and be educated, because this is our essence of being. So the green is al-aql, which is the mind. The red is an-nafs, which is the soul. Yellow, the world, which is like, you could see that it's like stages of being, and the blue is al-irada, which is the determination or the faith or the willing to go to faith. The white is the divine unity for everything. Beautiful flag in my opinion, and I think that now it represents more than a religion but more of a nationality. People now can see it as a part of a Druze nationality that is coming to being. This is the size of the empire that the Druze community started, or the Druze belief started in the 11th century. And the dawah, or the calling to join the religion itself, was open for 23 or 24 years, and then it got closed. We believe that even you, in previous lives, you got an invite to join the Druze belief, and you declined it for your own reasons. I'm not judging. But this is just to say why we don't welcome new Jews people because he said you had the chance and you missed it, so it's okay. And it started with the sixth caliphate ruler called Al-Hakim bi-Amrillah. He's the first one to establish the religion, and his co-helper was Hamza ibn Ali. But now, I'm gonna say a few things because why Islamists hate the Jews more than the Jews. Because if you can see that in the times of Muhammad, the Muslim prophet, there was a phenomenon called Jews or Christians. And there is a textbook of how to deal with these people. But once you believe, like the Muslims do, that God spoke his last word with the Prophet Muhammad, because he said, no more prophets after me, and I'm done talking to you humans, and adding to that the belief in the Muslim world that one day all world is going to become Muslim. So if you have people coming out of Islam and saying, sorry, but we prefer it our way, so that's even our own being is so insulting to Islam because it disproves the right of the prophecy, because instead of having people joining, you have people leaving, and not only leaving, they are saying, thank you, but you can't read my books. I'm going to leave you be, and you will leave me be. That's so humiliating and so unspeakable from the Muslim world. And this is why, I don't know how much you are familiar, but in last July we had a Druze massacre. Now we are, and this just to see how we are like more Jews than the Jews themselves, but with no benefits, because we still have more than 500 missing people, more than 2,000 people being slaughtered, small children, elderly people, handicapped, in the most heinous way. Believe me, I've seen the pictures, I've seen the videos, I spoke to the people. It is heartbreaking. And the thing is, we have still more than 120 female hostages that nobody speaks about because it's no Jews, no news. So it comes with benefits sometimes to have all the world focusing on you. In the case of Israel, it comes with downsides, but it has some benefits because we are finding it very hard to make people to pay attention to what's happening, because you know, the very next day, the slaughter, by the way, stopped only by the intervention of Israel. God bless the IDF and the soldiers of the IDF. Thank you. And the very next day, I was invited to participate in a radio show from South Africa. And the host read the declaration or the statement of the South African government that is condemning Israel for the involvement or its attack in Syria. And I said, like, it's one thing to say, hey, it's complicated, I need to learn about it, or I need to, to understand what's happening. It's the very next day, the South African government made in mind, and this is like a Pavlovian reaction, that first let's condemn Israel, let's say, come with the idea that Israel is bad, and then we'll start to fix the world based on that. And it's disgusting and evil, in my opinion. And I was really enraged because the only thing that stopped my brothers and sisters to being slaughtered like sheep was Israel and the IDF. And this is truth that you can't hear it in any other place, not in the CNN or Fox News or whatever that is. I know in your unfamiliar eyes you can't really tell the difference between these ladies and a Muslim lady, but believe me, there are certain differences that are very obvious. One thing is the veil is transparent, it's not thick, and it always comes with these colors. Muslims have different colors. And the thing is, like, if you consider that the Druze faith came out in the Middle East, it has groundbreaking ideas or notions. First of all, how they treat women. Women could be priests. They could be holy. We have in Dalat al-Carmel places that dedicated to high-level spiritual women. And for instance, they are equal, men and women are equal in front of faith, and that means that a woman could divorce a man. She could say if the relationship is not good for her, and that we transcended the Jews even in that, because we don't have agunot. That means that I'm divorced myself, but my ex-wife could divorce me if she wanted. And they are highly encouraged to go to study, to get higher education, although it's because of, like, it's a closed community, it's a closed society, and we don't like interventions. This is the one rule that the Druze goes by. It goes by three things: al-ard, al-ird, wad-din, which means the land. Like, in order to live with peace next to the Druze, first of all, let me keep my land. Al-ird, which is the dignity, the honor, which means the things on top of the land. My house, my wife, basically the dignity of the men is based on the women. So this is why it's, for the religious people, it's very hard for them to, the notion of women getting out of the village, going to university, and, you know, involving in the daily life. But like everybody else, we are integrated in the modern life, and more women are going out and getting higher education, and recently even started to go to the IDF.
And if wish ma, his blessing.